All right, everybody. Is this loud enough? I barely hear myself. All right. How's everyone doing tonight? All right, a lot of really good startup. I was not involved in the sabotage of the first startup. That was not me. Right, Efraim? You still remember that? No, their ritual is fantastic. You'll hear from them hopefully after me or by then. We can get in technology working with all these tech startups. All right, so my name is Yedid Hershkavitz. I'm the founder of Rapid Dream. All right, so one thing, there's a bunch of startups. We already heard from Hatch, the amazing Hatch. We're going to hear from some more startups after me. Now there's one thing, I'll tell you guys a secret, there's one thing that all these startups share in common. And it's not just the startups presenting tonight, but all startups who've ever pitched to any investor all share one thing in common. Software. All startups use software. Now there's a great line from Mark Andreessen in 2011 when he said that software is eating the world, which is a very true statement. We figure 2011, it's been a solid 12 years since he said that great quote. So by this time, the world has not only been swallowed by software, it's gone through the full digestive system, and unfortunately, we find ourselves here. This is where software ended up. Now, why is software? Well, this. A couple of reasons, right? One, software is over budget, consistently. Virtually any software project always goes over budget, always goes over schedule, and according to Standish Group, over 65% of software projects fail entirely to launch. That's where we find ourselves today. Now, what's the issue with this? What's the reason for software development consistently having these problems? So I'm a senior software engineer. I spent my time building and launching some of the world's most popular apps, including SpoofCard, TrapCall, TableCall, RoboKiller. I also worked as one of the technical leads for core software at Avaya, handling at very large scale. And there was one thing that was common, ubiquitous across all software projects, both big and small. And that was when I was working with a team on developing the software projects, only 40% of the time that we spent building software was spent on the back end, on the code that's on the server. Most of the time spent from zero to launch was spent on the front-end software development. And in my experience of talking with hundreds of software engineers in the process of building our Rapid Dream, when I asked them what is it about the front end that's taking so much time, the front end meaning all those bright little boxes and stuff you see on the screen, they would say, well, yeah, we spent time on API, integrating API, on managing states, on having client-side logic, all the standard boilerplate front-end stuff. But that's not what takes up most of the time on the front end. Most of the time on the front end is spent pushing pixels. That's a developer having two screens open. On one screen is the design inside of their design tool of choice that the designer did, maybe Figma. On the other screen, they have their code editor, and all they're doing is looking at that red button that the designer made and trying to replicate that in code. Tens of lines of code to replicate a single stupid little button. Another bunch of lines of code making it responsive on mobile, on desktop, on tablet. Pushing pixels takes the majority of time at the front end. This is the largest unsolved problem in modern software development, the largest single cause into why software projects so consistently fail. So what's the solution? Well, I'll tell you what the solution is. So instead of telling you, I'm going to show you. So this is Figma. It's a design tool. I don't know if anyone was familiar with it. It's the premier design tool that all designers use. They just in the middle of getting acquired through a contentious acquisition by Adobe for about $20 million. This is a design that we downloaded from a design company. We paid for this design. We downloaded it from Source. The way Rapid Dream works is we have a plugin, a Figma plugin. This is Rapid Dream. What the developer does, what the designer does, is they can take any design without any special customization or any special work. They can name it whatever they want, call it artist. And all they do is they go ahead and they push the design. That's it. No special work, no special customization. Now, I already did this before because case that has to be decided to do. So we just switched over here to when the design is ready to push. This is what the developer sees. The developer in real time has a design pushed to their machine. They go to app.rapidream.com. What you're looking at right now is Figma. This is the actual Figma design. And I'm going to click now on React. This is the code. So look how similar those are. And this is the most magical part. Not only are they so similar, but, and this is the critical part of it, the RapidDream code is responsive. That is a huge, huge deal. The closest competitor we have is Animo. Animo is a wonderful tool. They're great for simple static sites. They are not responsive. They don't even have on their site a button to be able to make the page bigger or smaller because they are not responsive at all. RapidDream is fully responsive from the ground up. So RapidDream does what nobody else can do. We output true multi-device responsive code from any design without any work by the designer. So if you remember before, we had 60% to spend on the front end, 40% on the back end. RapidDream is now cutting out that whole pushing pixels section. So we have now 40% time saved on software projects. On our average software project, on a typical $10 million project, RapidDream will save you $400,000 in 4 months. Now that sounds outrageous. Everybody who's hearing that is like, this is just startup BS. Well, my wife was a lot smarter than I am about 6 months ago. Said, look, Yedid, we know, as the users know, that RapidDream is this competent. So why don't we bring money? We love VCs, by the way, but sometimes it's great to have some money which doesn't come from VCs. So she said, why don't we go ahead and my wife offered to open up a service division that we call RapidZap. RapidZap does is it uses the RapidDream technology, and my wife runs this division of the company where she actually builds software out for companies using the RapidDream software. In the past 6 months since we've started, we have $700,000 in sales, $1 million projected sales. These aren't actual contracts in 2023. And last month, we brought over $100,000. Where we're going. Now, there's a goal to RapidZap. It's not just the fact that now we're getting money from it, but money's nice. The main thing is that RapidDream is critical to be kept free for software engineers, because we're playing for the long term. RapidDream is free to use for software engineers, and there's a reason for that. Every time a software engineer sits down and uses RapidDream, what they're doing is they're taking designs that the designer created, a button, and they're playing with it, and they're editing it, and then they're creating production code. They're labeling designs, and they're mapping them to code. Today, we have millions of design elements that are mapped to code. Why is that so important? Because we can train machine learning on this labeled data. Nobody else in the world can afford to hire software engineers, hundreds of thousands of software engineers to sit and label designs to equal production code elements. We get all that for free. Eventually, the goal is to reach the holy grail of true 100% automated design to code without the software engineer being in the loop. And that's why the RapidZap funds coming in are so critical. RapidDream is real. RapidDream works. RapidDream today has over 3,000 users with a stealthy beta launch. We have not marketed, we have not advertised. We get users joining every single day. We're doing this on purpose as we continue to refine the technology. We have 119 likes on Figma. We're a plugin on the Figma store. Anyone can download us. We go from Figma to React. Over 30% of our users, our average user comes in, they use RapidDream for a couple of days straight, often spending 6-7 hours a day on the tool, turning the designs into code and perfecting it. 30% download code, which is a huge boost from when we originally launched when it was less than 1%. So it's a big stat. This is the team. It's me, it's Srilly, it's the crowd. We'll give them a hand. We have Craig, our CFO. You don't have to put this. We have Eric, we have Milos, and we have my lovely wife, Tova. What's our ask? For everyone to have a good evening. But additionally, we want some cash. We want $600,000. Now this is a much smaller amount than the total that we need. However, we've calculated what RapidZap is currently bringing into the business. We are putting in 100% of the profits from Rapids app into RapidDream. And therefore, the $600,000 is only a percentage of our total needs in order to get us to the next level. What's the next level? Critically, we need more tech hires. Right now, of course, Srilly's pulling the bomb to build himself. But we have other developers on the team we want to continue hiring. And specifically, $600,000 is going to be specifically targeted at helping us get enterprise sales by month 7 of 3. Thank you all very much, and have a pretty awesome.
What did you say?
Oh, yeah, quick.
All right, Q&A. Anyone Q?
One question, anybody?
The 30% vote yes, so does that mean that 30% of the time the software engineers use the ability to
That they use it, meaning that they go through the process and that they actually go through the export. The 70% who are not doing it are mostly designers, because they find us on Figma naturally. They find us on Figma. We don't advertise, we don't talk about it. They find us on Figma. About 70% of our users are designers who push to RapidDream and realize that you need some kind of coding knowledge, because we're targeted specifically for software engineers. So the 30% who download us, when we look at them in full story and see what they're doing, talk with them, those are like the developers. So the actual number of software engineers who are exploring the code is a lot closer to, if not 100%, 80 or 90%.
Thank you. Thank you, Yedid.